Hello. Blessings, blessings, blessings. It's your girl, Sonia Renee. And I just want to come out here today and give you a little bit of information. First, I want to tell you that today was a beautiful day, wasn't it? It was a little chilly in North Carolina, but it still was a beautiful day. I'm thankful to have been able to see this day. I'm also glad it's over with, or almost over with, just because I'm excited about what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I wanted to share with y'all a little bit of international news. The international news is that I wanted to share is that the continent of Africa is coming together in ways that everybody is amazed. Except me, I'm not amazed at all. I knew Africa had it in her. Well, the country of Chad, which is a small Western country, has decided that it would like to tell the French Parliament to go back to France. Chad is among other countries that have done the same. Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and Gabon, to name a few. They are uniting. They are standing together. The soldiers, French soldiers that was there. Now, this is what I heard, and I don't really understand, so maybe somebody can help me out. Because my perception of it is probably pretty doggone on point. Well, my perception is that there were French soldiers in those countries. However, the French soldiers did not help with state to state or issues that were going on within the countries that they were at. So why were they there? I would like to think that they were there just to be, standoffish and see what's going on, make sure stuff don't get too out of hand. However, the people of Chad say that is not the truth, because the people of Chad say that they've been paying them a whole lot of money for a whole lot of years, and they were actually supposed to be getting the rebels out. The rebels that get people together to mine the diamonds, the cobalt, the uranium, all of the things that they mine privately, so that the rebels can receive the money, instead of allowing the people in the country to receive the money. So good thing about it is they have a fairly new president, and he is a young man. It's quite a few young men presidents over there, and I'm happy. They're under 50 years old. I don't have a problem with youth. I'm over 50 and I'm good with it. But I like the crispness of their young minds. I like the fact that they foresee a lot of things. I like the fact that the money that they're going to save from sending to France is going to be used to help with the upbuilding of their own armies. And yes, they had their own army. So what was France doing there? Being colonizers, being like the colonizers do. Y'all know the Europeans, they gotta have a finger on somebody. Anywho, so those countries have requested that the French be gone. And I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited about the sense of unity. I'm excited about the sense of ownership. I'm excited about their sense of resilience through all that they've been through on the continent, knowing that everything that they need is on that continent, knowing that if they could just get the paws of the colonizers out of their pockets, they would be able to do a whole lot more as far as for themselves. So what I also have found out is that when we say colonizer, because here in the United States, we don't deal with it necessarily in the same way that they do. The outcome is the same. It is to keep you in poverty. It is to keep you underdeveloped. It is to keep you from knowing who you are, knowing the value that you have. But what they did was, say for instance, the people of Chad wanted to negotiate with the people of Russia for cobalt for batteries. So the people of Chad would have to go through the people of France in order to speak to the people of Russia. So when they determined what the price was going to be, France was getting a huge chunk of it for absolutely nothing. That's not French land. Christopher Columbus might have been able to tell the people over here in North America that he discovered America, even though we found out that's not true. But nonetheless, he still has a national holiday that the mailman does not run on, that kids don't go to school on, but it's still the day that he discovered America. Well, those people, French people, did not discover Africa. Africa has had, or those countries in Africa, Africa has had life on it for millions of years before the French got there. And y'all know my pre-Jesus thing is that before the French and the English and the Portuguese and all of them got there, well, the people who lived in those countries served a God that took care of them. He took care of them. I mean, he really took care of them. They was like the apple of his eye. Like in the Old Testament, like they had beef with a city called Jericho. They ain't have weapons. They ain't have to have weapons. All they had to do was have horns and sandals to stomp in, because they marched around the wall on Friday 6 times. And then on Saturday, the Sabbath day, they marched around it 7 times. And on the 7th time, they blew the trumpets. And guess what? The walls fell in. Now, I understand that the Savior that they have replicated in the New Testament can turn water to wine. That's good at a wedding that people celebrate and they turn water to wine, so let's go ahead and give them something to drink. Can take a couple of fish and a couple of loaves of bread and feed a multitude a dinner and have some leftovers. Now, mind you, yeah, some people were saved, miracles were done, and all of that good stuff. But as far as collective things for the 12 tribes, I just don't hear a lot of that in the New Testament. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I hadn't dug down in it deep enough. So if I'm wrong, you can leave me a comment. You can even inbox me to let me know where I was wrong at. But I don't recall it being a lot of Israelites in the New Testament, which makes me believe that the New Testament might not even be for the 12 tribes, because those churches, Thessalonians, Colossians, Ephesians, those churches weren't Israelite churches. They were Gentile churches. So now I just wonder if the New Testament is sort of kind of designed for the Gentiles mostly, because all of the promises, and there's some promises, all of the promises and all of the big stuff that happened for the children of Israel happened in the Old Testament. So I will go ahead and repeat my stance. I don't know where Jesus came from. I know the name was transliterated in the 1500s and pushed to the people on the continent. And after that name was pushed to the people on the continent and they accepted it, they left in the bellies of ships. And they left in the bellies of ships and they came to quite a few different countries. That's when they became scattered across the earth. Because in my research, that's what I wanted to know. What happened to the 12 tribes of Israel during the New Testament? And it said that they were scattered all over the earth. I think that they were just scattered in the southern and the western parts of Africa at that point. They didn't get scattered until the 1600s, which was like a long time, but was prophesied in the Old Testament, in the book of Malachi. If you would like to look at something that might make your skin crawl, something that I don't think a lot of ministers preach about. The only thing I think I've ever heard ministers preach about out of the book of Malachi is bringing your tithe to the storehouse. Well, now those same ministers might want to recheck it and check out the second chapter and find out what happens when Yah's name is forsaken. When it's when they turn their backs on the name. And that's specifically what it says. It says the name. So I'm gonna stick with Yeshua. I'm gonna say that I really wish y'all would question the Jesus thing. Don't be vain. That is definitely one of the 10 commandments. That's one of the laws that is forever. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Name. Vain. So we were taught that taking the Lord's name in vain was saying, God, well, God ain't even his name. His name was Yeshua. I don't even think he was in the New Testament at all. The more I study, the more my spirit connects with all that's going on. I don't even see him in the New Testament. I see more signs and wonders now. Because when I tell you that in Israel, Jerusalem, all of that area up there, they won't even let you do your DNA. It is against the law to get your DNA done. Jews, Jewish people, have a covenant that they cannot get their DNA done. Well, a lot of them here in the United States have been getting their DNA done. And it's been coming back that they're Ashkenazi and they're not even tied to that land at all. That's gotta suck in so many ways. All this time they've been thinking that they were the chosen, the favorites. They're not. They won't even let them get their DNA done. Why they won't let you get your DNA done? I got my DNA done. And that's bad. I was stolen from somewhere and they had to pay somebody to tell me where I was stolen from. That's crazy. They stepped up on the scene. No questions asked. All you gotta do is say it. I'm Jewish. And they let you go back to, and be a member of a synagogue. And you can go to Israel and you can have ownership in the land. Go ahead. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I think that the 12 tribes of Israel, when they left for Egypt, it was 2,400 men of army age. So I would say that's probably between 15 and 40 at that time. So that doesn't even include women, children, older people, orphans, widows, widowers, handicapped people. That doesn't even include them. So I'm going to say that that's probably 5 million people. Anywhere from 4 to 5 million people. That's a little bit of space for 4 to 5 million people to sit in, get in at that day and age. And here we are, thousands of years later. The numbers have increased. There are springs popping up in deserts in Africa. It looks like it's a table being set. Oh, I wonder if it's going to be in the presence of our enemies. I'm excited. I think you should be excited too. I just wanted to hop on here on Wednesday and share some love. I made a commitment to myself to let my voice be heard. I'm glad somebody's listening. I don't want to change anybody's mind. I want to plant a seed to make a thought that could possibly lead to an answer to something you got going on that you ain't even know you had going on. All right. I want y'all to be blessed. I want y'all to be loved. And I want you to be whole. Have a good day.